What function does the vSmart controller perform within the Cisco SD-WAN environment? A. It performs authentication and authorization. B. It manages the data plane. C. It manages the control plane. D. It is the centralized network management system. What are the MPLS terms for adding and removing labels? A. Wipe on, wipe off. B. Plug and play. C. Push and pop. D. All of the above. What function does a Cisco SD-WAN deployment's vSmart controller have? A. Gather telemetry data from WAN edge routers. B. Handle, maintain, and gather configuration and status for nodes within the Cisco SD-WAN fabric. C. Distribute policies that govern data forwarding performed within the Cisco SD-WAN fabric. Switch. The command above will: A. List only available commands in the enable mode. B. List all available commands on the switch. C. List only available commands in the user mode. D. List only available commands in the configuration mode. What command is entered into a router to enable an EM applet? A. Router #event manager applet enable. B. Router #event manager policy enable. C. Router #event manager applet enable. D. None of the above. On a switch, debugging is enabled. For instance, I wish to debug the IP-ICMP packet switch. Debugging would end if I would: A. Type no debug IP-ICMP. B. Type undebug all. C. Reload the switch. D. All of the above. What command parameter can be changed to encrypt data traffic? A. Security model. B. Read view. C. If admin status. D. Access list. What constitutes a data frames for components of MPLS information? A. Label, experimental, TTL. B. Label, TTL, checksum. C. Label, experimental, BS, TTL. D. None of the above. What advantage does an on-premises deployment lack that a cloud infrastructure deployment offers? A. Supported systems. B. Virtualization. C. Efficient scalability. D. Storage capacity. Allegations: all kids are students. Every pupil is an adult. Adults are all employed. Conclusions: some employees are actually students. 2. All kids are grown-ups. A. If only conclusion I follows. B. If neither conclusion I nor conclusion 2 follows. C. If only conclusion 2 follows. D. If both conclusions 1 and 2 follow. New adjustments are made whenever you alter settings in configuration mode. A. Only saved in NVRAM. B. Only saved in Flash. C. Only saved in RAM. D. Only saved in ROM. Applying an IPv6 ACL to an interface requires what Cisco iOS command? A. IPv6 access list. B. IPv6 access class. C. IPv6 traffic filter. D. IPv6 access group. This places the cursor on the command's first character in the presently visible command string. A. Control-A. B. Backspace. C. Left arrow or CTRB. D. Down arrow or Control-N. What makes a FIB different from a RIB? A. The RIB maintains a mirror image of the FIB. B. The FIB is populated based on RIB content. C. The RIB is used to make IP source prefix-based switching decisions. D. The FIB is where all IP routing information is stored. Which MPLS plane contains Label 3 routing and label exchange protocols? A. Control plane. B. Transport plane. C. Data plane. D. Serengeti plane. In the Cisco SD-Access architecture, what technology is used to offer Layer 2 and Layer 3 logical networks? A. VPN routing forwarding. B. Underlay network. C. Easy virtual network. D. Overlay network. In order to return to the setup mode or the original configuration mode. A. Type setup under configuration mode. B. Power on and off the switch, pray that the initial configuration mode comes up. C. Type setup under privilege mode. D. Type reload and setup mode will resume after switch reboots. What control plane protocol is employed between vSmart controllers and Cisco SD-WAN routers? A. TCP. B. OMP. C. UDP. D. BGP. Switch hashtag. The command above will A. List all available commands on the switch. B. List only available commands in the enable mode. C. List only available commands in the user mode. D. List only available commands in the configuration mode. How is network congestion alleviated by QoS traffic shaping? A. It buffers and queues packets above the committed rate. B. It drops packets when traffic exceeds a certain bit rate. C. It drops packets randomly from lower priority queues. D. It fragments large packets and queues them for delivery. What table does CEF create? A. ARP table. B. FIB. C. IP route table. D. Layer 3 label. The orchestrator is known as in Cisco's Enterprise NFV. A. Cisco Enterprise Service Automation. B. APIC EM. C. APIC Controller. D. Cisco DNA Center. How many VTY lines can Cisco switches support at the moment? A. 4. B. 15. C. 16. D. 1. The vSmart controller is in charge of what in an SD-WAN deployment? A. Gather telemetry data from vEdge routers. B. Onboard vEdge nodes into the SD-WAN fabric. C. Manage, maintain, and gather configuration and status for nodes within the SD-WAN fabric. D. Distribute security information for tunnel establishment between vEdge routers. Removes one character 0. A. Control D. B. Control R. C. Left arrow or CTRB. D. Control E. What function does the monitoring workflow for the Cisco DNA Center serve? A. To manage and troubleshoot network devices. B. To monitor and analyze the network for performance and health issues. C. To configure network devices for optimal performance. D. None of the above. What UDP port does LDP send over? A. 22. B. 464. C. 646. D. 643. What is the maximum number of WLCs that can be included in a single group when configuring a wireless mobility group? A. 6. B. 12. C. 16. D. 24. This progresses one word. A. ESCF. B. Up arrow or Control P. C. Left arrow or CTRB. D. Down arrow or Control N. Which component of the Cisco SD-Access wireless architecture controls endpoint ID to edge node bindings? A. Fabric Control Plane Node. B. Fabric Wireless Controller. C. Fabric Border Node. D. Fabric Edge Node. These keys advance you to the more recent commands if you have delved too deeply into the history buffer. A. Control A. B. Down arrow or Control N. C. Control D. D. Control R. Which Cisco SD-WAN component manages the orchestration plane? A. vManage. B. vSmart. C. vBond. D. WAN Edge. What Cisco exclusive technology is MPLS based on? A. Ceph. B. PAGP. C. ISL. D. None of the above. What are the primary advantages of hosting an application on the cloud? A. Faster deployment time. B. Ease of management. C. Lower cost. D. Scalability. A Cisco switch is extremely secure out of the box by design because it A. Only allows console access. B. Only allows remote access from a secured location. C. Disables all physical and remote access and users have to call Cisco Technical Assistance Center to activate the switch first. What function does a Fusion router serve in an SD access system? A. Provides additional forwarding capacity to the fabric. B. Acts as a DNS server. C. Provides connectivity to external networks. D. Performs route leaking between user-defined virtual networks and shared services. You return to your command line with all characters after doing this. When messages clog up the screen, this is helpful. A. Control R. B. Right arrow or Control F. C. Left arrow or CTRB. D. Control A. What is the proper JSON syntax for an array? A. Key, value. B. Key, value. C. Key value. D. What is produced once labels are exchanged over LDP between two routers? A. Fib. B. FLIB. C. Lib. D. LFIB. Where is radio resource management carried out in a wireless Cisco SD access solution? A. Control plane node. B. Wireless controller. C. Cisco CMX. D. DNA center. Makes progress one word. A. Left arrow or CTRB. B. Down arrow or Control N. C. Control A. D. ESCF. What kind of Wi-Fi encryption technique does pre-shared key authentication normally employ? A. MD5. B. SHA-1. C. DA. D. AES. This advances the cursor in the command that is now being displayed without deleting any characters. A. Control A. B. Left arrow or CTRB. C. Control R. D. Down arrow or Control N. Which QoS component modifies a packet to influence how network traffic is handled? A. Classification. B. Shaping. C. Policing. D. Marking. Where in a data frame does the MPLS label reside? A. Between IP and MAC. B. Within the IP layer. C. Between IP and data. D. None of the above. What control plane protocol is utilized to map and resolve endpoints in a Cisco SD access fabric? A. DHCP. B. Vexlan. C. SXP. D. Lisp. This advances the cursor in the command that is now being displayed without deleting any characters. A. ESCB. B. Left arrow or CTRB. C. Right arrow or Control F. D. Down arrow or Control N. What is one truth about the use of Cisco SD access in wireless networks? A. The wireless client is part of the fabric overlay. B. The WLC is part of the fabric underlay. C. The access point is part of the fabric overlay. D. The access point is part of the fabric underlay. To connect to the Cisco switch, you would utilize a cable. A. RJ48 straight through. B. RJ45 Ethernet. C. UTP rolled cable. D. RJ45 crossover.